Hi everyone, welcome to the Insights with Lily Zhang. Today it's getting colder in Melbourne. Today is April the 11th. It's the autumn time. I think it's quite windy, but this is Melbourne's autumn, although it's only 7 degrees. Just a little bit windy, but you can see all the flowers, fruits. It's quite, still quite beautiful. Yeah, but in the evening it's getting colder. Yeah, I just remember, it's been the whole year. I'm just recall last year this time I was in Germany. I was just flew from Melbourne to Germany. I had a really great fight inside my mind. Should I stay in Australia or should I go back to Germany, which is about March 16th last year. It's been 1 year now. Now I'm back to the full circle. I am in Australia again. So I remember last year, yes, I had like I said before, I had a big mental fight because Australia was pretty much very normal, nobody wearing masks, and but in Europe the pandemic's very bad. That was their first wave. Now, after 12 months, I'm back to Australia, and again, Australia is back to normal. Australia had, actually I was quite lucky compared with globally most of people because they had 1 year full pandemic. But for me, because last year, when I was in Australia, there was no pandemic in Australia yet, but I went back to Germany and experienced the first wave of Germany, but Germany was controlled pretty well for their first wave of coronavirus pandemic. And then after 2 months in Germany, they started open up basically in summertime in May, June and July. I think compare-wise, most people they experience they probably been locked down in one country for 12 months. But for me, I had because of change of the continent, I experienced probably only half time lockdown for each country. No, I didn't experience the lockdown in Australia. So when Australia was locked down from, I think in their winter time, June, July, August, September, I was in Germany, and actually Germany was open in summertime. So I was lucky. And 1 year now, after 12 months, when Germany is experiencing, that's what they experiencing now, the third wave. And I'm back to Australia. Australia is quite lucky. I'm quite lucky. Australia is totally open, as you can see on my video, and that's why I just feel after 1 year, people's life has changed. I'm probably the lucky ones because my life hasn't changed too much. I just remember when I've been back to Australia for 2 weeks, like life's been normal for 2 weeks now, and I still get used to wearing masks in public transport. Although when I see other Australians, they don't wear masks. Actually, by law or by rules, they should wear masks. Sorry, my hair is, like I said, it's very windy here today, and I'm not sure. Australia, basically, they don't have the second wave, or can you see my face? It's kidding. Yeah, I like to do it in the garden because it's quite beautiful. Yeah, I'm not sure if Australia is going to experience second wave or third wave. Basically, they only had one wave, and then they've been controlled very well. When Germans talking about their lockdown, they think they have hard lockdown, but their border is open and people still can travel. For Australians, I just know recently, Australians are not allowed to travel overseas. They can't go abroad the country, and no international travelers can come into Australia either. So basically, you have to be an Australian citizen or residents to come back to Australia. So their border control is much more stricter than the lockdown part of Europe. I think that's why Australians' pandemic, they've been under pretty good control, because although the society is open, but actually their border control is very strict, and they are not open to outsiders at all. Of course, being an island, or being a big continent or a big island like New Zealand and Australia or England, I think their pandemic is much easier to control because their geographic locations. But for Germany, for France, for European, the mainland Europe, it's much harder to lock down, because when Germans talking about their hard lockdown, actually in Australian or New Zealand standard, it's not their hard lockdown. It's pretty much open except bars and restaurants, and but that's much harder to control the spread of the disease. So when I'm talking about Australian, I've been experienced the normal life. Like I was wondering how life going to change after pandemic. Actually, life is not, at least for Australian, hasn't changed too much. When people are not worried about the pandemic, they start talking about Black Lives Matters and climate change, or the other issues. You can see from my video here. What's going on here? I thought there was a protest for coronavirus lockdown, but they don't have lockdown here. Well, today that's Black Lives Matters. Oh, let's fully welcome refugees. Well, that's from the message from the church. That's a funny message. So today's protest is the Australian version of Black Lives Matter. But they don't have blacks, not many. They have some black refugees from Kenya or Congo. What's this? Black death in custody. Ah, okay. They're talking about some black people. They probably die in prison. But they didn't say the reason why they died. They probably been beaten by prison mate, or anyway. It's they've got a leftist government, so there's quite a lot people leaning to the left. So let's see what they're talking about.
So I had the money to pay for good lawyers. The average blackfellow who comes into contact with the police doesn't have that sort of money. So that's all I'm going to say today. Tell you my story, and thank you for being supporters.
Feeling peaceful, and there's some Aboriginal issues in Australia. Australian policemen, they're quite relaxed. Well, life is pretty normal in Australia. Today is quite busy. Cocoa Black, this is my favorite chocolate shop. Very nice. Many people today, because it's a weekend, and coffee shop. This is, this building, beautiful building. This is Melbourne Town Hall. They have the comedy festival. Great. So all the cultural life is coming back. Australians really like comedy shows. Life is pretty relaxed.
Wow, how busy.
Wow, life is beautiful in Australia. Oh, my cat's still there. That's my cat. Hello, Sonia. Hello. Hello. Oh, she's so cute. Just stop and see how beautiful she is. That's her. She loves her garden. Yeah, every time when I'm in the garden, she will come to the garden, and I don't know where she come from. She will be here because she's like a little host. She'll show me around. Hello, hello, hello. Oh yeah. It's been 1 year after the coronavirus. Yeah, I know. This has changed many people's life worldwide, and I just seen some videos about Wuhan in China. Life's pretty much normal, and but like 4th of April, that's China's Qingmingjie. That means that's a festival to remember your ancestors, or to worship your ancestors, or to remember your deceased family members. So that's a day of memory. In Wuhan, there are like 250,000 people went to cemetery to basically remember their deceased family members. That means the scar still there, but the city is back to normal. So in China, I've got one family member went back to China just a week ago. They had forced hotel quarantine for 2 weeks, and then they have to be quarantined at home for another week. So it's still very strict. And Australia has got compulsory hotel quarantine as well. As I know, in Europe or in Germany, if you go back to Germany, there's no forced hotel quarantine. You only quarantine for 3 or 5 days at home. So that's why so many times I see the Germans hard lockdown compared with China, compared with Australia, is not that strict. But of course, it's been a long time. I definitely can feel for my German friends. The life's been so, I think at least for a year, they probably only had, for 12 months, they had probably only 3 months, slightly normal. But I remember last time, I still haven't had my hair cut yet. I'm definitely going to have my hair cut next week. Because last time I had my hair cut was in August in Germany, so I had my hair, last time I had my haircut in a hair salon was in August last year. And I think in November I cut my hair by myself. No, not too bad. Yeah, so that was hard. Yeah, this is a year, I think, for Americans, for lots of Europeans, for a whole year. The kids haven't had normal school, and most people work from home. They haven't been back to their office. Quite a lot of business, they probably cannot reopen again, and many people lost their jobs. So many people's lives have changed. Lucky that my life hasn't changed too much, and I probably, because of I changed countries, so that's why I probably have half of the pandemic time so far compared with most people. Life has changed a lot, and have we seen the end of pandemic yet? I'm not quite sure, because Europe is experiencing third wave. Although there are vaccinations and even some treatment, but maybe they're getting better in summertime. But is Australia going to experiencing, like last winter time, the second wave? I don't know. So is Europe going to experience fourth wave, fifth wave? I don't know. So that's my thoughts today. Basically, it's just after 12 months of this pandemic, many aspects of our life has changed. There are some things never change, like family, love, courage, and there are some things in life never change, but our life has changed dramatically a lot, and we so get used to, many people probably get used to being isolation. Yeah, there are some reports say people, when they come out of isolation, just like I still always want to wear a mask when I'm in public area. Yeah, some people probably, even when they out of isolation, they probably will have some kind of anxiety and to back to social life again. Especially, I feel sorry for younger people or school children. But this year, all I can say is let's have hope. We have to have hope. Things probably will getting better. So my European friends, I wish you all the best. And for my Australian friends, we have a good life here. So let's we don't just take granted for our good life here. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.